My name is Laurel Blomquist. I'm the head gardener at Gwenyn Hill Farm, and we decided to choose GrazeCart as an online platform to specifically sell the meat that we provide on the farm, which is grass-fed beef, veal, and lamb. But we also use it to sell a few other things like honey, maple syrup, and then occasionally produce as well. Okay, so this is the main homepage, and it has a few things across the top here, but mostly it's a picture of the farm and some testimonials. And then down here or at the top, there's the categories that we have in place right now for how we sell things here. So we have grass-fed beef, lamb, veal, eggs. Here we see the vegetables, honey, maple syrup, shares, bones and organs, and custom cut quarters for people who want to buy large amounts of meat. So this sales page is everything in alphabetical order. But if we clicked on individual categories, beef here, then it's just the beef pictured on this page. Across the top, there are also subcategories of bones and organs, roast, steaks, ground meat, and stew. But this is all the meat. And you can see here, like I was talking about, we put the blade roast on sale. So you can see $2 a pound savings. Normally it's $12 a pound. Now it's $10. And that's how they showcase sale items. And then each thing has a picture, short description, and whether or not you can add it to your cart, or if it's sold out, it'll indicate that as well for each different item. On an individual item, you click on it and there's a longer description that you write here about what the blade actually is, how you would cook the blade roast, and then another statement just more general about our cattle that we raise and why it's better to buy this meat than meat at the store, conventional meat. For example, for under eggs, we sell an individual dozen eggs, but we also have some shares here that we put here so that people who are interested in buying shares could buy them here or on our normal Gwenyn Hill website. And then I think the other category that's kind of different is custom cut quarters. And that has more detail about how to go about buying a quarter and what the ETA is on when you would actually maybe get it based on our slaughter dates for the year, and that we charge a $200 down payment now and the rest later once you actually decide what you're getting. Mm-hmm. Under our story is just a brief thing kind of taken off of our normal website, our regular Gwenyn Hill website, about why Gwenyn Hill Farm exists. And then we have one video here of the cattle out in the field and specific information about the Red Devons, specifically for the meat cattle. So we have more information about that. Pickup locations. This is the one that actually gets a little more complicated. So currently we have most of our pickup locations are on the farm. So that's what these dots here, these are the farm dots. And then this one over here is for the Brookfield Farmers Market because we go there on Saturdays. So this website will allow someone to choose Brookfield Farmers Market as their pickup location. And I can bring that there. We don't actually sell anything but ground beef at the Brookfield Farmers Market. For multiple reasons, but if someone were to place a special order, I could bring it there and they would pick it up there. So we have multiple locations at the farm too. One of them is the farm store, the little stone milk house, and then the other is at the farm during CSA pickup, either Tuesdays or Thursdays, because that's when our CSA days are. And those locations you choose when you sign in. So when you decide, okay, I'm ready to shop now, you enter your zip code and then it'll assign you one of them. That's one of the things actually that I don't like so much about this site is it's difficult to kind of change your location once you've picked one. but we can talk more about that later. So if I were to shop right away, let's say I wanted a blade roast, I'd add it to my cart, and right away it's saying, oh, no, before you can add it to your cart, you have to enter your zip code and see if we service your area, check availability. Oh, look, I have a profile, it knows me. So it's gonna, down here, you can select your closest option. So I can select a different location here. It assigned me to Thursday because today is Monday and the cutoff, it has cutoff dates. You can assign it for specific things. So like tomorrow I have a CSA pick up on Tuesday, but for someone to order today and pick up tomorrow, is it too fast for me to fulfill that order? So I have a cutoff date, I think, of Saturdays for Tuesdays. But if I order today, I could still get it by Thursday. So that's why it's assigning me Thursday instead of Tuesday in this case. But if I just was like, I can't get there on a Tuesday, I want to come on a Tuesday, I can, but it'll assign me to next Tuesday. So I can do that. And then a little click box here to subscribe to our newsletter. So that will also automatically put the person's email address in my MailChimp so that I can continue emailing them later on. So I already have an account. I'm just going to sign in. Okay, so it didn't actually add anything. So I'm going to add this one to my cart here. Blade roast. Okay. So now I'm going to look at the cart. Here I've got one blade roast. Why don't I, actually, you know what, I'm going to continue to shop and just add one package of ground beef too. Okay, so now I'm going to check out 2 items. If I wanted to check to make sure what those 2 items are, I could click here and it'll take me back to the cart. And you can see I've got 1 blade roast and 1 pound of ground beef. My order summary here on the right. Right now it's thinking it's going to be $38.50, but it says here the price above is an estimate only because many items are charged by the pound. We will not know your exact total until your order is packed. So it just kind of gives them a little warning. Proceed to checkout. Here we are again. This is my pickup location. It assigned me this 24th because, like I said, oh, see, it assigned me Thursdays, even though I picked Tuesdays. See, and this is the hard part. This is the part that I don't really like. I could try to change this up here. I think I can, see, but yeah, it's tough. There, okay. So I put in my zip code again, and now I'm saying, no, I want Tuesday, not Thursday. Now it assigned me, see, Tuesday, September 29th. It will not assign me to tomorrow because that's too soon. My contact information already has a card on file for me, and so I'm all good. If I had a coupon or a gift card code, I could apply that here, but now I'm just going to place my order, and it says, thank you for your order number, again, your location, pickup date and time, and the estimated total of $38.50. You can print the page if you want. I'm going to click more details. It's basically the same thing written again, plus the actual thing that you ordered here. And then it'll also send me an email if I go to my inbox. Here it is. Thank you for your order. So it already sent me the email. We've received your order. Thank you for supporting your local farm, and the order details, including the pickup location, time, and date. And now I'm in the back as the administrator, not as the customer. And you can see the order that I just placed myself is in here, right on the top, is under recent orders. You can also see that when you click on orders, new, and it's the same thing again here, this order that I just placed. It's the only order that is in here that I haven't gone through and processed yet. There are other orders in here as well. So orders processing, these are orders of quarters that people have placed that have not been completely processed yet. So this is how much they owe, and they're in the middle of processing. But quarters, because they take long depending on when we're actually slaughtering and when they're actually picking up. Those are just where I put them when they're not completed yet. We have packed orders. So this is an order that someone placed that we fulfilled and packed and is waiting in our freezer, and she just hasn't come to pick it up yet. So that's where that is. Processing. Canceled, there's probably not too many. There's just a few. And people can go in and cancel their own orders for whatever reason. But let's say let's go back to new. And this is the order that I just placed here. So to fulfill it, I can click on the order number here. And here it is. Now you can see that I ordered this blade roast and 1 pound of ground beef. The ground beef, I'm not going to change at all. A pound of ground beef is a pound of ground beef. I'm not going to alter the weight. I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, even if it is like 1.03 pounds. I'm not going to do it. The blade roast, however, I would have to go find a blade roast in the freezer where we keep it. And let's say I find it and I discover that it's 3.25 pounds. So I put that in as the weight, and now the weight has, my subtotal has changed a little bit here from $30 to $32.50 based on this weight. Delivery fee for everything we've decided is $0 automatically because we're not shipping anything, we're delivering anything, but I can add a fee here if I want to easily. Coupon, I don't have a coupon right now, but one of the things we decided to do was meat share. Not too many people have done it, but there are some. And so those people have paid for a certain amount of meat at the beginning of the season. We actually have them order through this website so that we know exactly what they want, and it automatically takes it out of inventory for us. But I also know how much money they spent in the beginning of the season, so I can go in here and add a coupon in any amount that I want to take that total off. So we call the share your choice beef share. So I'm calling the coupon your choice. I'm going to add the coupon. And we made it $37 because that's how much per month that they're getting from us. So it'll take $37 off of my total. So here my total right now is 41 and I took 37 off. So really I only have to pay $4 more. And so all of our members are aware of that system, so they can go way above that if they want. They can go $50 or $100 above that if they want, but I will still continue to take off this 37 because that's how much they prepaid per month for this meat share. And you can make any coupon you want at any time and apply it. And since I'm not really a meat customer, I can also delete that. Here we go, delete coupon. So now my total is back up to $41. I took the coupon out of there. You could also, if there's other payments down here that they've added in the past or that you added that will list that, you can add. If they had put a note like, oh, I'm going to come on Tuesday, but I'm going to be running late, or I make sure that you put that with my CSA share or whatever they want to say, they'll write that here. You can write a private note there if you want, or an invoice note, and that'll actually show up on the invoice. The private note will not. Oh, and I can also take off a discount if I wanted to. I could just give myself a $1 discount or whatever I wanted to. Let's say it's a good customer. Or for a while I was saying, when I was selling salad, the deal was if you bought 2 or more, for every 2 you buy, you get $1 off, so that they're $4.50 each instead of $5. So that I was like adding little discounts for people who bought more than 1 bag of salad. So there's lots of ways that you can apply a discount or a coupon. Here it's showing that it has not been paid yet. So you click on add payment and you can either charge the full amount or charge a partial amount. So like in the case of these quarters, when the total is, like $1,000, we state on the quarter page, like we're going to charge you a $200 deposit to hold that for us until we fulfill it. So in that case, we go to the charge partial amount, and that's how I put in the $200. In this case, it doesn't make sense because my total is only 41. But and I can write down here, this is a deposit for quarter, and that way I can apply that to the total payment. So let's say that it was $1,000. It says, and I charge $200 now. Then they get that statement saying like you were just charged the deposit at this moment. It's not the full thing. But in order for them to place any kind of order, they need to have a credit card on file. So there will have to be something in there for you to continue, for them to continue. So there's no way that they can get through all the way to the place orders part without adding a credit card. Here you can print an invoice, you can print a packing list, a shipping label, or a packing label. Typically, at this point, I would print a packing list because I haven't actually gone to fulfill this part of the order with the blade roast specifically. I need to know how much it actually weighs. I just put this number in here for now. But I usually print up a packing list first. And let me see if we can see what that packing list looks like. Yeah, so here it is. Packing list for order number 365 for Laurel Blomquist, purchase date, delivery date, where they're going to pick up, and then listed here blade roast and ground beef. And here it says weight, 3-pound average. So that is some information you can actually give it to GrazeCart when you first set up each individual item. And so that helps both the customer know like how many of these I want to buy. If if I want to get 6 pounds or whatever, I'll know, oh, they're 3-pound average, so I want 2. But then also this indicates to me, well, it's an average weight, but we don't know exactly what it is. So when I give this packing sheet to one of my employees to fulfill, I'll highlight this and say, you need to tell me specifically how much this one weighed. And then over here, location ID, we could probably get a little bit more specific in the back end, putting the location ID in. Right now, we don't do that. We have 5 different freezers, and I know what items are in what freezer. So I will actually write this in by hand to tell my employee which freezer I want them to take it out of. If I printed the invoice at this point, it would still mark it as unpaid. But I usually don't print the invoice until it is paid, just so that that's the invoice that I'm giving to the customer that shows that it's paid, but you can print it up before that. Notify, I have never used this. I would imagine this would send an email. Oh, what does it say? Order packed. Oh, it would probably send an email to the person saying that your order is packed and ready. I don't do it that way. I usually just do it via my own email if I'm planning on emailing them specifically. I often don't because it already tells them information about where the location is and what time they were supposed to pick it up. Okay, so that's orders. Under products, I usually just click on all products, and that will take you to a list of every single thing in alphabetical order. So you can see here on the left, here's some produce products that I had up earlier that I've chosen to hide now because we don't have them for sale anymore. So rather than have them, go to the vegetable page and it's full of stuff that we don't have, I just re-hide those items so that it's not listed. But it's listed in alphabetical order by item and retail price, and then how many were in inventory. Since this is hidden, I'm not concerned about this inventory number. But blade roast, the thing that I just purchased, for example, we have 52 in inventory now still. So this is an easy way to see everything you've got all in one place. Coupons, these are the coupons that I've got going right now. Like I said, your choice is a coupon that I made, and some people bought more than one, so I had to make multiples. But you can make any kind of coupons that you want. And protocols, these are ways in which you can categorize each of the items that you sell. So for the beef, we can say it's 100% grass-fed and grass-finished, but I wouldn't mark the produce as that. Certified organic, however, I could mark the produce as, because all the produce is certified organic. So going back to all products, if you want to add a new product, again, that add product button is over here. And you can just start by naming it. Let's say it's, I don't know, what we're going to sell. We don't already have, I guess I'll say honey 1.5 pound. I think I've got 2 pound honey and 1 pound honey in there, but I don't have a 1.5 pound honey. Pricing unit can be by the package or by the weight. In this case, it's by the package because it's always going to be 1.5 pounds. If it was a package that the weight would fluctuate, then you would choose weight. But in this case, it's a package, and let's say it's $7, and we already know that it's 1.5 pounds. But you can change this to ounces too, I believe. And that's how you would save it. And then in here, this is the detail of the product. So this is how you add a photo. You can write a longer description. This is that longer description that I showed you before, where we have the information about the blade roast and what you would use it for. This is where you can put that. The collection, this is where you add it to grass-fed beef or eggs. In this case, it's honey, so I'm going to scroll all the way down to honey maple syrup. And now it's part of that collection. Tags, I can tag it, I think just as honey. Yeah. And then you can add the photo here from your gallery if you want. These are all the photos that I've already uploaded. There's more photos to choose from. Oh, here's a picture of honey, so I can select that picture of honey. Even though it's 1 pound of honey, it's still honey, so I'm going to use the same picture. And oh, this is sort of annoying. This is one thing I do find annoying, is that down at the bottom here is this save button. Just click that button down here and go up to the top and click another one up here. If you just click the one on the top, it won't save all this stuff that you wrote down here for whatever reason, and that is super annoying. I've had to retype stuff because I didn't realize that you had to do both. But that's the basic description. Under price and weight, this is where you can have a normal price of $7, and let's say we make the sale price $6. And right now it's not on sale. Oh, no, I do want it on sale, yes, but then like I said, again, you have to go down and click this button here. Now it's saved. But if I had not clicked that button down here, only click the one on top, it wouldn't necessarily save it. This pricing unit, we already decided when we first made the product that it was going to be by the package and not by the weight. That the average weight is 1.5 pounds. I don't usually fill this one in about the item cost, but you could if you wanted to have a lot of detail for yourself about how much you were selling it for versus what your cost was. Inventory. So you can tell it to track inventory or not. Like I could say, oh, I've got a bunch of these, I don't need to track it at all. Or in most cases, we do track the inventory. Let's say we had 10 of these to start with. So this is our online inventory. And let's say I wanted to know when it reaches 2, it's going to send me some kind of warning like, oh, you're getting low, you need to restock. Settings. Should this product be visible in the store? I'm just going to say no for right now because it's not a real thing. Whether or not you want tax applied to this product. So if we were selling taxable items, you could add the tax there. If you wanted to add an SKU, you could. We don't, or a barcode as well. Packing group. So this is honey, so it's not frozen. So I'm going to call it dry. But this is, again, you can make these categories yourself. So like for most of the produce, I would call it seasonal. I have a digital category. You can make all kinds of categories there that you want to pack it by. Internal notes that customers do not see, but then there's also all these little details that you can also put in. We don't use most of this stuff, but you can use, I don't know, let's see, what's the one? Oh, limit per customer. So let's say if you wanted, you can only buy one of these at a time. You can do that if you want. Order minimum, like you have to order 5, you can do that too. Exclusivity, there's all kinds of little details that you can add that for most things we don't do, but you can if you want. There's lots of different functionality for each product. The protocols, this is what we were talking about before for honey. Probably none of these I could actually apply to honey because they don't actually get certified in that way. Logistics, so this is where you decide all your pickup locations. So we've had several. The Brookfield Farmers Market, we were delivering to the Milwaukee Winter Market at the Domes last winter, but currently that's hidden since we're not going there right now. And these are our other locations, the farm stand and then the 2 CSA pickup locations. Delivery zones, since we don't deliver, we don't use this, but this is where you would add details about, you know, I guess that's how you would say, oh, if someone's within 10 miles or within 20 miles or within 30 miles or whatever, so that you would be able to charge them different tiers. Schedules, so this is where you go into each individual one of these and add pickup dates, and this is something you need to do kind of far out in advance. So right now I think this goes through the end of CSA only. So Farm Tuesdays for us, that's a CSA pickup day. Yeah, so we've only got dates here that go through the last, well, the second last week of CSA. So the next one's coming up, Farm Tuesdays tomorrow, Tuesday, September 22nd. Ordering for this pickup date started on Sunday, September 13th and ended this past Saturday. So the last date you could have picked up for tomorrow is this, you'd have to order by the past Saturday in order to get that pickup date. So each one has sort of like an order start, order deadline. You could start them all, like if you set this up at the beginning of the season, the start date could be the start of the CSA, like, you know, so you wouldn't necessarily have to say September 13th. It could be, you know, April 1st is when people could start ordering, you know, and they could pick a much future date if they really wanted to pick it up later. We kind of just gave them sort of a week around each date, figuring most people are going to want to pick up fairly soon after they order. They're not going to order months in advance, but you could do that if you wanted to. So each one has that kind of built in. So like Brookfield Market, the cutoff date is Wednesday if you want to pick up by a Saturday, and that, so those you can add your dates. You can add another pickup date here and put your order window there, and that's how you would add it. So those also only go through the end of October because that's when market ends. At some point, I'm going to have to go in and probably add more dates to, where is it? Oh, the by appointment one. Because in the future, when we don't have CSA and we don't have the Brookfield Market anymore, we'll have to have people just picking up at our farm stand, and so we'll have to have more dates available for this by appointment special order only at the farm stand, because that's where we will end up sending people in the off season. Reports, you can do all kinds of different reports. You can do inventory reports, sales reports. This is sort of fun. You can filter it many ways. Right now it's filtering by new processing impact. But let's say I wanted to look at everything that was picked up, and you could do by packing group here. I wanted to, let's do all the frozen stuff, so basically that's all the meat. And you could do many other filters that you want, but let's just filter that. And so it's showing all the meat that was sold, picked up in the past, since we started this. So you can filter your different reports many different ways to see what your sales were like and print those out. Those are nice different things you can use as a just to track your sales. You could track your inventory that way too. My site. So this is where you can change like your main page, your logo, your fonts, your colors, your header, your main menus, things that people see when they first come to the stand, come to the site. So not individual products. So like, for example, that's the logo. You know, it can change your fonts. I'm going to exit out of here. But basically, this is setting up the main parts of your website. Yeah, you've even got blog posts, which we don't show. We don't post our blogs here. We post it on our site, but you could. Blog posts, there's a section for recipes and a photo library. So there's, yeah, you can get pretty detailed here. We only have a few pages because it just acts as our main, as our meat site, but you could add lots of details there. And under settings, there's just a lot of little, you know, general settings, email, orders, store. Sometimes when I can't find something under my site, I'll look here for different things. But this is basic information that you put in when you first set up. So the name, phone number, your address, all that kind of stuff. Oh, this is kind of nice that for your maps, you can give it a specific latitude and longitude because, you know, sometimes Google Maps or the post office or whatever, especially where we are because we're out in the country and this address is very weird, right? Like N130 W294 Bryn Drive, it doesn't drop the pin exactly where we want it to. So this way you can tell it like, no, this is where I want the pin to be dropped so that the map is correct and not based on some false information. You know, if you really wanted to get into, like I said, your costs and or your customers, you know, you can do all kinds of like little reports and more details to get you to that point. But there's a lot of functionality that you don't necessarily have to use if you're just using it just to move product. You don't necessarily need to do all that, but you can get that kind of level of detail if you go into that. My advice would be just get really clear on what you're trying to sell so that you know the specific functionality that you're looking for your site. So if you are really trying to sell produce, I've said it before, GrazeCart is maybe not the best platform. Look around. If there's trial periods for each one, maybe try it out and see which one works best for you, or get advice from people who have used that platform for that specific thing. Because different platforms are going to work for different people depending on what specific thing you are trying to sell. If you are trying to sell a variety of things, you know, then you're going to have to do more research because you might be looking for different types of functionality depending on what it is you're selling. But if you're really focused and you're like, I'm only going to be selling meat, you know, GrazeCart is a good option. And maybe there's a couple other specific meat platforms out there, but I would just get really clear on what it is you're looking to sell.